Hello, everyone. On today's IRS Tax Refund Update, we'll recap the latest with those ongoing tax refund delays, including the remaining backlog of unprocessed tax returns. We also have the newest release dates for the next round of direct deposit and paper check tax refunds, so we'll take a look at that. And a new update on the ongoing situation impacting many e filers who've had their refunds sent out by the IRS but are now seeing them being sent back to the IRS. We also have a recap of the top reasons why many of you continue to experience delays for your refunds. Briefly recapping where things remain with those unprocessed tax returns and refunds. As of this recording, there's still 2.8 million unprocessed tax returns remaining, both e file and paper returns filed this year and last year. There are over 1 million unprocessed amended returns, with another 71,000 unprocessed employer tax returns and 390,000 unprocessed amended employer returns. Employer returns are very important because the IRS needs to match what you reported on your income versus what your employer reported for accuracy. Turning to those tax refunds, as the next batch of direct deposit refunds is scheduled to be released and transmitted by the IRS to banks on July 19th, as confirmed by the refund status results seen here, to allow up until July 24th for it to post to your account before initiating a payment trace, although a majority will receive it the day of. For those of you waiting on paper checks, including amended return filers, the next round is scheduled to be mailed out on July 21st, with most receiving within 7 to 10 days. As those tax refund delays continue on, it is really important to identify the issues behind those delays. For those of you who e filed your tax return before the tax filing deadline and are still waiting, your return is likely not delayed due to normal processing issues, which is the case with most of those who filed paper returns, but rather one of the following issues. If you claimed one of the following credits, such as EITC or CTC or the field tax credit, it is very likely that is the cause of your delay, which puts the return ultimately under audit. These credits in particular have a history of improperly being paid out, so the IRS is thoroughly reviewing those. And for you claiming EITC and CTC, the IRS may be requesting proof of your dependent, such as a birth certificate or proof of residency. As for those of you claiming the fuel tax credit, those are being reviewed even more so due to the high amount of improper claims being seen, so a 5+ month wait time is definitely a possibility if you had claimed the fuel tax credit. Another cause for your delay could be the IRS has not processed your employer's wage information. And as we mentioned earlier, the IRS needs to match the wages you reported on your tax return versus what your employer stated they paid you. If impacted by this, you're more likely to receive a 60-day notice from the IRS. And another main reason would be the need to complete ID verification. No matter what the delay is, do check your tax transcripts on a weekly basis for any updates. For those experiencing extended waits and have received no assistance when calling the IRS, they're advised to open a case with the Taxpayer Advocate's Office to get further help identifying and resolving the issue with that specific delay. Now, turning to one of the biggest refund issues over the last 2 weeks, which is those e filers who have used some of the biggest online tax preparers, such as TurboTax and TaxSlayer, having their refunds issued by the IRS but yet to receive those refunds. Now, many of these big companies use a company called TPG, also known as Santa Barbara Tax Products Group, to process those refunds for them, such as TurboTax. And what is happening is TPG is placing a number of these refunds under review and returning them to the IRS to be sent out as a paper check. Now, if you're impacted by this, expect at least another month of waiting, perhaps longer, to receive that paper check in the mail. Typically, it takes the IRS 4 to 6 weeks to send out a paper check if that direct deposit is returned back to them. Last week, TPG stated in emails to taxpayers, like the one seen on the right, that it is the IRS requesting refunds, certain refunds actually, to be returned to them. However, we said it was unlikely and that it was TPG themselves most likely doing this, and with the latest update, it appears our reporting was correct. Last week, TPG, in response to a complaint filed against them with the Better Business Bureau, issued this response on the issue of returned refunds and stated, many companies, including most banks, feel that tax refunds with suspicious account attributes are high risk. TPG performs additional steps to validate accounts and release those holds. Because of certain filters, your record fell into this category. Unfortunately, your funds will need to be returned to the IRS. Now, what was missing from the statement was nowhere did they say the IRS was requesting these refunds be returned, like the previous email, so this goes to show our reporting was in fact correct on the subject. Obviously, there should be process in place to prevent any improper refunds from being sent out. It seems TPG is returning those refunds with high dollar amounts. So it is important to note also, once your refund is sent back to the IRS, you will have no other option except to wait for that paper check to be issued. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax refund issue, including when and how you filed your tax return. In the meantime, we'll keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.